I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. It. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Thing sucks.
Here we go. It's another edition of the Daily Puck Drop. It is your daily sports podcast here on a Wednesday, November 5th. Coming up on the show today, certainly plenty of reaction to what the Seahawks did yesterday at the trade deadline. Did they do enough? Also, a Mariners reunion. We'll get to that. Rob Staton, SeahawksDraftBlog.com. He'll stop on by. We'll get his thoughts on the move that the Seahawks made and all things Seahawks, brought to you by the world-renowned Georgetown Brewery. This show, the Daily Puck Drop and Puck Sports, could not happen daily without the support of Limback Lumber. I'm kind of standing in the way of Limback Lumber, the sign. Limback Lumber, they are the trusted source in all lumber needs in the Pacific Northwest. They are locally owned, and they've been around since 1930. Paul and the crew, they've been doing it. Paul hasn't been there since 1930, all right? I mean, Paul's old, but he's not that old, and he's kind of a young heart. He's got a great heart, by the way. Give him a call, 206-782-3487. If you're a do-it-yourselfer, you're a contractor, they're going to treat you the same. And you know what they still do? They don't keep things on computers anymore. They don't keep things in the cloud. You know what they do? Paper receipts. Dating back like 40 years of receipts of people coming in there at Limback Lumber. You can also visit their website, limbacklumber.com. You can visit me on all the social media platforms, Puck Sports everywhere, except for TikTok, Puck_sports. There. And, of course, please visit pucksports.com. You find all of our shows up there, but also you can sign up there to become a Pucks Posse member. $5 a month, that's all it costs you. It's a cup of coffee once a month. Not even. I think a cup of coffee is more than $5 now. $5 a month, pucksports.com. You support all the free content we do every single day. Plus, you get bonus shows every single week. Ladies and gentlemen, on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we are graced with a true pioneer in sports broadcasting and journalism. The man has great hair. He's a fabulous husband and father to not only his 3 beautiful kids, but his 2 dogs. Almost lost a dog this week. We'll get into that. But he's brought to you by 3 Hammer sponsors. James Moore.
Do I ever just get a straight introduction? There always seems to be a little sarcasm, and yeah. Anyway, all right, yeah.
Sarcasm. That was all. That was
all from the heart.
It was all from the heart.
Do you have as big a heart as the guy at Limback Lumber?
Which one is that? Is that Skye?
No, it's River. Kathy just pulled out of the driveway, and so he's freaked out about.
Now, burning question is Skye with us still? People want to know.
Skye is with us still. Let me get this out of the way here, okay? I know you. I know this is your favorite part of the podcast. Brian Turner, he's putting
question. The first question that came in from the chat today: what's the over/under, and how many times Jim has let his dogs off leash since Skye almost died across Highway 97?
Yeah, well, today didn't go well either. Brian Turner. He's putting up Christmas lights for Puck, and he'll put Christmas lights up for you too. BrightOwlLighting.com. No ladders, no hanging over gutters, and then no hassles with untangling Christmas lights. If you're like me, when you put them away last year, you probably didn't wind them up nicely. You were thinking, God, I got to get these things down, put away. Don't worry about any of that stuff anymore.
But what's the real reason?
BrightOwlLighting.com. What?
But what's the real reason we love Bright Owl Lighting?
Oh,
so you don't
have to die. I mean, because people die when they fall off ladders and when they get up on the roofs and they're stretching out to try and put that last light up there on the gutter.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't die. Let Brian and his crew die for you.
Yes, correct. Call them at 360-675-2034 or visit brightowllighting.com. You need a car? You want a car? You want a Cadillac?
I would love a Cadillac.
Buick, a GMC, Brotherton Cadillac in Renton, Brotherton Cadillac, Northwest and Shoreline, Brotherton Buick GMC. Do you want to meet Brad Brotherton? Just walk in and say, hey, man, I want to meet Brad. I want to meet this guy I hear about. The Coug, the family-owned guy there. at Brotherton Buick GMC and Brotherton Cadillac. So just do it. And Brad will say hello. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I sold Jim's wife 2 cars, his mom 4 cars. So
Brad, I'm going to the Cougar game in a few weeks. The pass is going to be bad. You know, Goldie can't take it over the pass, but you know what? The Cadillac could make it over there. Brad.
Right. An Escalade, perhaps?
Yeah.
Yeah. Riding
That'd
style.
be great.
What game are you going to? You going to the Beaver game?
No, who are we playing? La Tech? Louisiana Tech?
Oh, you're going to Dad's weekend?
Yeah. Well, the unofficial Dad's weekend. I love it. It's a 7:00 kickoff. Son of a gun. God, it's going to be cool.
I might join you over for that.
Come on over. We'd love to have you.
The kids are probably going to go, hey, Dad, we already did Parents Weekend a couple weekends ago. But, yeah, and then the Huskies are playing, too, the basketball.
I just bought my tickets. My tickets. We'll be behind the hoop.
Oh, really?
Behind the hoop, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll look into that. One more thing. Matt Baker, speaking of the Cougs, he's a proud Coug. He owns the Angry Beaver in Greenwood. Go check out the Kraken. If you're not going to Climate Pledge tonight, go to the Angry Beaver. They're hockey headquarters. So they'll have the game on tonight. Happy hour 4 to 6. Pre-function there for the Kraken. And say hello to Matt Baker. Say go Cougs to Matt Baker. He'll give you a go Cougs back.
Was there a few weeks ago. It's a great spot. Great TVs everywhere. Great food, by the way. Great drinks. Matt's always there. It's one of those spots. You never have to tell Matt or the people that are working at the Angry Beaver, hey, can you put the game on? Do you know what channel? Hey, where's the Kraken? Can you put the Kraken game on? I don't know what channel that is. They don't answer that there. They know before you even ask at the Angry Beaver. They've already switched the channel. That's the type of place.
And they're a bar that'll have the Mariners on too in season. Doesn't that bug you in Seattle when you walk into a bar and they don't have it on?
It's just and then when you ask, and I just know, and I always now preface it when I ask someone to switch the channel. Hey, I know you're busy, and I hate to ask, but that TV right there, would you mind switching it to the Mariners game? Is by any chance? And I just and then I just understand that this process is going to take 15 to 30 minutes for them to actually do it.
How quickly do you think the waiter or waitress forgets what you just asked when they're on their way back to the kitchen?
I think once when you're asking, hey, do you mind? They're like, fuck you. Yeah, I do mind. And I'm not switching.
I've got 5 other tables I'm waiting on, and you want me to change the channel?
I don't know why. You go to other cities and they have the games on and they know where the games are at. This city, God, it is awful. It is awful.
Not at the Angry Beaver. The Mariners are good now. If when they were bad, okay.
Angry Beaver knows what they're doing, but these other places, God, when they have TVs, and I know maybe there's other cities that do this, but there's places, bars, even breweries that have TVs here. And then they're showing movies. And you're like, can you put the game on? It doesn't even have to be the Mariners. I don't. Just anything.
I'm with you, though. Typically, they'll either forget or take a long time to get the game up on that TV. And when someone does it right away or comes over with the remote so you can do it yourself, the tip goes up, doesn't it?
I was just at a place here that's right by my house, like literally a block away. It's called Fuel. You may remember Fuel. It used to be downtown. There used to be a Fuel sports bar that was in Pioneer Square. Maybe it's still there, but they have 2 locations. I don't know. I don't think it's still there anymore. Anyways, there's one right by my house, right here in Ballard. So we go there every now and again. It's a great place after sports, just quick. They got great chicken wings. The vampire loves his wings. And we went in there and there was a game on. I think it was, God, who was playing? I think it was Arizona was playing somebody, the Wildcats. And I was like, hey, do you mind the waitress came over and said, you mind switching that game to the Arizona game for me, please? Because it's a Georgia bar. And the Georgia game just got over. Georgia alums going there to watch the Georgia Bulldogs play. And Jim, I almost started crying. He did it within 45 seconds.
That's awesome.
And I'm telling you, 25. I think I gave her 30% tip.
Yeah,
because I was like,
well, it's
worth it right there.
Yeah. Hey, since you brought up chicken wings, When did we go from chicken wings being reasonably priced to just through the roof expensive?
Well, I don't know.
When did that happen? Seriously. And then when they come out and you look at them and you're going, really? I just paid $20 for that? Am I wrong?
Well, I don't know. Well, prices in Bend are getting up because all you old white people are moving down there. So the cost of living down there is going way up.
No, it's chicken wings everywhere.
Chicken wings everywhere. Okay.
I'm wrong about a lot of stuff, but I don't think I'm wrong about that.
I
want to order chicken wings. Not all the time, but sometimes when I look at the price, I'm going, God, what is it, like $12 for 6 wings or something? And then if they're good sized wings, I go, okay, that was worth it. But typically they come out and I'm looking at them going, God, they get the scrawniest chicken ever for these wings.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm wrong on that.
You may not be. I don't know. I don't. Does the Angry Beaver serve wings? I bet you they do at the Angry Beaver. They've got to serve wings there.
You know what else they are? They're gluten-free at the Angry Beaver.
Are they?
That's important to a lot of people.
It is.
Yeah. Is that important to you?
Does it look like it's important to me?
It's not important to me either, but I'm happy. I'm happy that that's a big deal to a lot of people and it's important to a lot of people. And
I like to wear
you should go to the Angry Beaver in Greenwood and make sure you say "Go Cougs" to Matt Baker.
Okay? I like to wear t-shirts that say I'm pro gluten just to piss people off. Now,
I'm a glutton for gluten.
Yeah, there are plenty of people.
Seattle, what's that Seattle t-shirt place that you always talk about, or we used to?
Simply Seattle?
Simply Seattle, yeah. Glutton for gluten. Come on. Can we make money off of that?
Sure. There's people that they do have wings, by the way, at the Angry Beaver. Okay, yeah, they're a little, well.
Say reasonably priced. The guy's a sponsor.
Reasonably priced. Doing? I think they're reasonably priced. I think.
What are you going to say? I mean, what? So,
well, what do you want me to say?
Well, I don't know. Like Limback Lumber. If you found out their lumber, God, Jesus, 2x4s. Hey, man, you're charging this much for a 2x4? You wouldn't say that.
Well, but I look at these prices at there, and I don't bat an eye just because I don't know. I live in this town. Everything's expensive. And by the way, I always love
wood is expensive.
Of course it is. Everything's
Tried
expensive.
building a deck lately? I mean, I don't know how to build a deck. But I
don't build anything. So no.
Okay. All right. Well, what did I interrupt you?
Everything's expensive. I always love when you libtards that live in Seattle, you get what you deserve because, and you know what, you everything's expensive because you voted for it. You know what, Mister, that says that to me all the time. You live in Seattle, so everything's expensive. I just was in Snohomish, and I love Snohomish. That was great. We detailed it. My stop at the Jake's Cafe, wonderful spot, beautiful. Okay, breakfast there cost me for 2 people $50.
Yeah,
and it was like, you know what we got?
Coffee.
2 coffees. We each got the same thing, the light fare breakfast, which was 1 egg, hash browns, and a bacon. That was $50. So don't tell me that it's only in Seattle. It's expensive everywhere. And by the way, gas still the same price up there that is down here. All right. Same thing in Enumclaw. So
how about you bring up expensive breakfast, Old European in Pullman?
Oh, I mean, I'll set you back.
No, that's $100 if you got a family of 4 and you're going there.
Yeah, but give me those little Able skewers or what the hell that thing is called. That is fantastic. All right, no one cared. You know what?
No, but if you're paying $100 for breakfast at the Old European after staying in that rickety old hotel right next door for $400 a night on football
I've stayed
weekends?
there. I have stayed in that.
What is that called?
Or
should we not say that? Are they?
No. The Land Motel, something
Landmark.
No, not Landmark. Something.
It's not very nice, but they make you pay through the nose to go there.
Cougar Land. I've stayed there with 6 guys one time at an Apple Cup.
Yeah,
just awful.
Were you on the floor? Were you one of the ones on the floor?
Yeah, I think maybe we all were in one bed. I mean, no one took their clothes off. It was just, it was freezing. It's 15 degrees. The heater's blowing. Just bad.
And then we probably lost.
Sure, that was a game we lost. Probably. Probably was.
Yeah.
I know what you know what people are turning this off. If you're watching or listening to the live show on YouTube or X or the Puck Sports mobile app, which is you can download it on the App Store for Apple and Android, you have turned it off. You've probably gone back to the guy that yells and screams over Chris Kidd all day. And then, or if you're watching it later on the podcast or
you mean the
listening
guy
to the
that replaced
podcast,
you? That guy?
I didn't really replace me.
Well, what do you call it? I mean, you quit, and then he took your job.
Quit. He took the job. I don't think he replaced me. You can't replace this, Jim.
Okay. Well, Kidd replaced me then.
Did he? Yeah.
When you get fired, you get replaced. So anyway, all right. Where
people, if you're watching or listening to this later, you fast forwarded through this because we have not, and this is a disservice to you. We have given you nothing. For this first 15 minutes, we've given you nothing.
But this is your favorite part. You used to, when I used to come in, love it. Since you brought up our old radio station there and our old show, you would come in at 10 o'clock and I would know that you were going to go off on some tangent that had nothing to do with sports for the first segment, for the first 20 minutes, because you enjoy doing that. And I enjoy doing that. I like that you want everything to be spontaneous, off the cuff. And when it's not a big, what we got Seahawks to talk about.
Yeah, we got lots to talk about. I get it. You know what? People want to hear our takes on the big trade that the Seahawks made yesterday. You know, that's what they want. That's what they come in for.
But how many people are out there going, I mean, maybe you, I mean, you're more dialed in with the Seahawks than I am, but like, if I want to hear about the Seahawks, I'm looking at your headlines. I'm going, oh shit, the guy over there, the bloody trenches guy, Rob Staton.
Rob Staton in the bloody trenches.
Who follows the team as closely as anyone, and he's 6,000 miles away. Yeah. I want to hear what Rob has to say about the Rashid Shaheed trade.
I want people to hear what you have to say.
You think?
No, not really.
I don't know. I mean, somebody in that chat room or whatever. I mean, do you really care what I think about the Rashid? I can't even pronounce the guy's name. It rhymes. I know that.
Because you want to say Rashawn Sheehy. That's what you want to do.
That's right. That's right.
It's the same
the
thing.
Old Husky running back.
Every time. Did he get in trouble? Did he get arrested? Did he jump from a roof party or something? Did he jump from a window?
I think he did. I don't know.
And then Dick Baird covered it up.
That sounds vaguely familiar.
One of them got in trouble.
No, I didn't. Dick Baird. I didn't cover it up. I didn't cover anything up. I played by the rules every time when I was with the Huskies.
We didn't do anything wrong.
The coaches are trying hard. The players are trying hard. I love Dick Baird. I do.
Sure.
I do. I know he's
Everybody
a traitor.
Does.
Played football for us, and then he came over to UW.
Oh, don't ever say that to him. Don't ever say that to him.
Well, I have. God,
I have.
But I do. I love. Okay, wait a minute.
I don't think you'll ever talk to me
Dick Baird.
again.
I was going to say I love Dick, but I love Dick Baird. Okay, so because I know if I said
you can love I Dick love too. Dick, you'd be going, Jim. It's 2025. No one cares anymore. Okay, stop.
Okay, all right. Well, I love Dick Baird, he/him. Okay, I do. I love him.
Are you saying Dick Baird is a they, them now?
I don't know. He might be. I haven't heard from Dick in a while. He could be.
You know who hasn't heard Dick for a while either?
What do you think he was born at birth? Or wait, what were you, gender at birth? Do you ever check that box?
Do you think Kathy says it herself, too? I haven't visited Dick in a while, too.
You might be right about that one. Piss off, as Rob Staton would say. Piss off.
Piss off.
Piss off, Puck.
Where are we at with if people didn't read Jim Moore, the go-to guy.substack.com? I mean, I'm reading that story about your dog, and I know that trail, by the way. I know exactly where that trail is at in Bend.
Do you?
Yeah, I know exactly where that trail. I've been on that trail. And I'm reading it, and my blood pressure is going through the roof. I'm panicking. I'm sweating. I'm nervous. The dog, for people who didn't read it, your dog, again, off leash, running around, ran over the freeway, Highway 97, and jumped over the median, for God's sakes. So
Yeah,
the other side.
it's technically a highway, but it's
Oh, yeah,
basically a
highway.
freeway. I mean,
Yeah.
no, but it's a freeway. People are going 65, 70 along there. And, again, if I'm a listener and I'm hearing me say something like, well, he deserves that. He's a dumbass. He's got his dogs off leash. This area is known for people with dogs off leash. And this has never happened. And I suppose I should prepare for the time that it will. And it
Yeah.
did. It did
Okay.
happen for the first time, where on this trail, it doesn't like border right next to the freeway. The freeway is quite a ways away, but for whatever reason, Skye just decided to go ape shit crazy, and she bolted away from me and took off, and she ran across the freeway. Cars going both directions by, and when I saw her jump over the median, that's when I thought, I just had this feeling like, okay, I'm going to hear screeching brakes. I'm going to see people getting out of their cars, and my dog is going to be laying there dead, honestly. And so I just sat there, and I just had this awful feeling. And and then of course I had River with me, and he was off leash, and so I had to go across I had to go over to the freeway with River, not on a leash. Had to wait for traffic to stop momentarily so that I could. Yeah, anyway.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Did you have the leashes with you, or do you leave them in the car?
No, I didn't. I did not. Before I get too far with this, and I won't drag it on too far, but I've learned my lesson. All right.
Okay.
I've learned my lesson.
So Skye, but let's just cut. Skye's safe. You found her.
Okay, Skye say, okay, so yeah, I get on the other side of the freeway. There's a lady who had pulled over. Are you looking for a black dog? And so I didn't know whether to keep looking on that side of the freeway.
And may I interrupt? In Bend, they don't see a lot of black dogs. It's kind of frowned upon in Bend.
Do you really? I mean, this is a very serious story here. And do you have to really interject with that at this point? Huh?
Just it's context to the story.
Okay, I know that you think you're funny, but how many listeners do you think right now are thinking, God, that Puck, he's hilarious?
I think every day, not many. So hard for the course.
Okay. Long story short, because I went on forever about it in Substack. If you want to read it, Jim Moore, the go-to guy.substack.com. But yeah, I get back and then I didn't know when I got back on the trail, I was with River. I didn't know whether I should call her name because I thought, wait a minute, if I yell Skye, 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 she might be on the other side of the freeway and hear me and go, oh shit, that's my owner. And then actually come to me this time. And I thought, well, maybe she would come to me. And then by coming to me at this point, she might get hit because she was on the other side of the freeway. So I thought, okay, she's a smart dog. She usually comes back. And she came back and she was actually by my car, which was, a couple hundred yards away. But there were so many emotions. I felt so stupid. I felt bad. I thought about people that were going, God, Jim, you deserve this because you always have your dogs off leash. But honest to God, I was in an area where this had never happened before. And I started crying. I did. I got home and I hugged Kathy and had a shot of bourbon. And it was not good. It was not good because I thought, God, my dog very well could be dead right now. And the fact that I was throwing Frisbees for, the last couple nights, I had a greater appreciation for her and for keeping my dog on a leash and keeping my dog safe at all times because the unexpected can happen. And it did happen it did happen today where, I saw a deer on the trail and I knew that my dog would go after both of them would go after the deer if I didn't have them leashed properly, which I did.
Yeah, listen, everybody that's owned a dog understands the following. Dogs like to be off leash. They're not designed to be on a leash. They just aren't. They my dogs are happier when they're running around off leash, but it's when you're on that trail and just trails in particular. I'm glad she's okay.
Yeah, I screwed up.
I'm glad you're okay.
I screwed up. And then, the whole part too, where I'm just like 68 years old and I'm going out on a freeway and I've got another dog that's off leash and I needed to get him to jump over the median with me. And it was a fiasco.
Well, it's one thing if your dogs are like my dog, this is not a commentary on your dogs. Like my dogs are just not, They don't bolt like that. Well, one of them can't bolt anymore, but the other one, she does not a bolter. Like she'll come back. Like if I call her, like she'll stop immediately and not go, but she will bolt. I mean, she'll bolt.
That's called training your dog properly, which I haven't done.
I didn't really train her. You just kind of did it on her own. So, all right. Well, I'm glad you can read more about it. Jim Moore, the go-to guy, .substack.com. I'm glad we've got Skye still with us.
Well, thanks, Puck. I am too.
Yeah.
And my wife would. I don't think she would ever forgive me on that one because that's her dog, and boy, she loves that little girl. That's
yeah, we all do. God,
the
dogs are the best. Are you kidding me? Absolute best. All right, what did you make of the? I don't know how to transition from that to the Seahawks. What did you make of the Seahawks move? I haven't heard too many people be upset about it, or I think there's been some fallout of Rashid Shaheed that it's. Well, did they give up too much draft capital? I don't know. I'm not fixated on draft picks like other people are. I look at draft picks like prospects in baseball. I don't know. It's a draft pick. If you're going to tell me you're going to find somebody as good as Shaheed in the draft in the 4th or 5th round, okay. But I don't. This is guy's a proven NFL talent. So I'm in. I
don't see. Well, yeah, I read several stories about it, and then the first thing I heard about the trade was from Mikey over in Pullman, and he was saying, "Boy, the Seahawks just made a really good trade, Dad." And I was like, "Who'd they get?" And so, yeah, that's Mikey. Well, I find my sources all over the place.
No, because Mikey's plugged in, and Mikey going after me a little bit on Twitter about upset about the Cougar basketball team. Well, he wasn't really upset. He's like, "Hey, but we've got the ace guy. He's all in on the freshman." So,
Ace Glass, he likes
Ace
him.
Glass.
Yeah,
well, it's a great
name. Dad, Ace Glass is nice.
He's good. He is good. He's good.
Yeah,
I think they're good. I think the basketball team's going to be okay. They had a bad first start.
Yeah, but you gave up on them.
I didn't give up on them. I just said it's going to be a long season.
You turned it off.
I did turn it off.
Yeah.
Well, they were down by 12 with 5 minutes to go. I'm like, they're not coming back from this. And then I find out that they lost by 2, and then they should have tied the game when the guy missed the tip in. Jesus. But yeah, I just find the trade hope. I mean, it's a win-win. I don't understand why anybody would be upset about it and upset about draft capital.
Well, I can. If you're a Saints fan, I'd be upset about it.
Oh,
I just get a kick out of NFL trades, don't you? You just sit there and you look at a guy like that who, average yards per catch. He's had 500 yards in receiving this year. He runs a 4.40. I mean, he's a speedster, takes the top off of defenses, all these different things about this guy. And the Saints know all of this, and people who follow the NFL know all of this. And so you're thinking, man, this is one of our best players. And what'd we get for him? A 4th and a 5th? What?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Like you look at this guy and you think about what he's going to give to the Seahawks, and you think, well, that should at least be a 2nd rounder, maybe a 3rd. And then not only that, but not only that, you look at it and you go, well, okay, it's a rental player. Maybe that's why you got him so cheap. Well, rental players in the NFL, if he goes somewhere else and signs a good contract, you can get one of those picks back next year. So you're essentially trading him for a 4th or a 5th, not a 4th and a 5th.
I just think it comes down to they didn't want to pay him. They didn't want to pay him because he's entering the final year of his deal. Now, I would assume with what Seattle gave up that they're going to entertain signing him, and they should. They don't owe any more guaranteed money to Cooper Kupp after this year. And I think part of it is, hey, listen, this was our worry before the season with Cooper Kupp. Would he make it through the full year? Well, he hasn't. And so now you have some insurance if he doesn't make it back. I just think it makes him more dangerous on offense. To an offense right now, the passing game that is very diverse and explosive. And I think we're all waiting for defenses to clamp down on JSN. They haven't figured it out yet, but now it gives them another option. And so, I mean, again, I think we all wanted maybe another offensive lineman. Offensive linemen just don't get traded. I mean, Max Crosby and Trey Hendrickson, they just apparently weren't available. But I think it's I
saw that there was only one offensive lineman traded.
I think it was from the Saints too.
Yeah.
I just think that it's you added to a position of strength. His speed, he was clocked this year. I think it still is, or maybe it's not anymore. The fastest touchdown run of the year, catch 22 miles an hour. He was clocked on an 87-yard touchdown. I love the fact that he wears 22. I want to know the story behind it because he started off with 89 and then he changed to 22. And I just like the story. Lightly recruited out of college, goes to Weber State. He's like a 4-time All-American there. He goes undrafted. Everyone says he's a great guy. He's like a fan favorite with the Saints. Chris Olave is telling JSN on Twitter, hey, you got a good one. I just think it's another example, and they don't always work. But here's the thing that I love about John Schneider and the Seahawks. And I know some people are either all in on John Schneider or not, what have you. And not every trade has worked. But this guy just goes for it all the time. Does not sit back. He's like the anti-Mariners. And the Mariners, did it this year. But he just goes for it. And he just tries to make the team better at every single chance and opportunity he gets. And I just think I think Seahawks fans should be damn happy that's the GM, because he doesn't sit back and just say, because it would have been easy for him to go, well, no, our passing game's good. We're fine. JSN's good. And Cooper Kupp, well, he'll come back healthy. And we got Horton. He said, no, we have an opportunity to add a guy that can help us even more. We're going to do it.
Well, that's the other part of it. This guy can help you in the return game too. He was
an all-pro
kick returner or a punt returner.
He was an all-pro 2 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So you add that dimension to your team too. And I heard Greg Bell talking about it from the News Tribune about having another guy that can a deep threat like that, maybe to loosen things up for the running game too. So it's just, I just think it's a win-win all the way around. And again, if I'm a Saints fan, I'm not excited about what they're doing.
Do they do enough? Because now people are saying, did they do enough? I mean, I don't know what else was out there for them to do, but if the market didn't present themselves another opportunity, then fine.
Didn't they look like a Super Bowl contender before they acquired Shaheed?
They did.
Okay, so this just enhances that.
Yeah.
So I didn't really look at the Seahawks as a team that needed all these different what they could have used linebacking help, I guess, with Jones having an injury, but it looks like it's going to be short term with him.
Short term, and I thought Drake Thomas and Tyrese Knight, who filled in for, they've been fine.
It's amazing what these guys are doing with backups. They don't miss a beat. Yeah. They just come in and that defense looking as good as they are. They're getting national recognition now after that game against Washington.
Right.
Sam Darnold in the MVP race, JSN, 2,000 yards perhaps. Yeah. I don't know how. I mean, some people out there are thinking that they might win it all, and these are national people, not just us that are home.
A great chance. They got a great chance. They have, I think, as good of a chance of anyone in this league to be there at the end for sure.
That's crazy. It's crazy how good they are. Yeah, and they're solid everywhere.
Speaking of, let me transition over the Mariners for a quick second. What if free agency officially gets underway tomorrow? Still nothing with Naylor. Polanco's officially a free agent, or he can sign tomorrow. So they haven't done anything with Naylor, and Polanco's still there and all that stuff. So there are a lot of decisions to be made. I think people will be upset. Well, why they haven't signed Naylor yet? Well, listen, Naylor wants to test the market, as he should. Naylor would be a fool to have done anything before this. So it was smart on his part. Let me ask you, what about a Mariners reunion with one of, I think, the most popular Mariners who has ever put on a uniform? What would you say to that if they could pull it off? Huh? Would you bring him back? Gonna cost you a lot of money, Jim Moore. Going to cost you a lot of money.
As in how much?
As in $125 million. What do you think? Projected $125 million.
Nope.
No. Why?
Because, number one, they're not going to do it. Number two, the plan should be, they have $30 million to spend, right?
Yeah.
Okay, $30 million, 20 to Naylor, and then you're probably going to have to go a little over your $30 million to get Polanco to come back. Wouldn't you be good to go if you just got Naylor back and if you gave Polanco $12 million? And then do whatever you want to do at third base, Williamson.
I agree. I agree with all of it. But again, there is no cap. It's this money that this $160 million they're putting on themselves is what they're governing themselves. They don't have to govern themselves. They don't have to do that.
Well,
But they need another
just
arm.
Given
in the bullpen,
who the Mariners are,
I know they're not going to do
most
it.
feasible and reasonable,
Yeah.
and would still put them in position to get to the World Series next year is to get Naylor and Polanco back. And within their budget, that seems doable.
Priority number one is to get Josh Naylor signed. That is priority number one.
Everyone agrees on that.
Everyone agrees. That's just everyone agrees. So
I'm starting to get nervous though that he's going to get more than $20 million a year.
I think he's going to be in that. He'll be in that 5 year 100, 4 years 90, 5 years 100. I think so.
What if he wants 6 and 120? Would you do it?
Sure. Yeah.
I would.
I'll do anything for him. I'll do anything for him. All right. Before you go, Rob Staton's coming up, SeahawksDraftBlog.com. We'll talk and get his reaction to the Seahawks trade there yesterday for Shaheed, the wide receiver. You and I love uncomfortable press conferences, do we not?
Oh, it's my favorite.
What I stumbled upon yesterday is one of my favorite press conferences, exchange between head coach and reporter. And my favorite part of this is at the very end with Boston College head coach Bill O'Brien.
Wondering, do you have a message to the fans? Obviously losing to Notre Dame, Catholic school rival, 1-8 now in the season BC. I've heard from a lot of fans. They're just really down.
I'm really glad. You know, I'm glad you're down. I'm not down. Nobody's down. We're fighting. We're competing. You know, it's the second year of this program, Mike. You always come in here with these down questions. Like you show up like once a month or something like that. You come in here with these down questions. I'm not down. I don't know what year you graduated from BC, but this is a program that we're building. Okay. Nobody here's down. We're positive. We're going to show up and play our asses off against SMU. You can go out there in your dark, clouded world or whatever it is and do what you want to do. We're not down. The sun is up and we're fighting. That's my message to the fans. What's up, Trevor?
How you doing? SMU leads the.
That's the best part. That's my favorite part about it. He goes on the whole big rant, right? He goes the whole rant.
We're not down. The sun is up and we're fighting. That's my message to the fans. What's up, Trevor?
How you doing?
Usually it's next question.
Oh, God. Bill O'Brien losing it on a reporter. God, that was good. Man, that was damn
How do you think old Mike felt about that?
Oh, I don't know. I just love at the end. He's just yelling, "What's up, Trevor?" Hey, before you go, other headlines here real quick. No surprise, Ohio State, #1 team in college football. The bracket released, or the playoffs released yesterday. Washington comes in, I think, at 23rd, which led our favorite Cam Cleland to yell at the AP reporters that, thank God your time is over voting for this. Now we have real people voting. Cam doesn't understand that it was only one spot changed between the AP and the college football rankings poll.
Do you realize when you criticize Cam Cleland that he's like 6'5", 260?
Well, I do it behind a computer screen, so he can't get me.
Okay.
I love Cam.
You don't. Not that much.
I do. 9 semifinalists in the coaches category for the Hall of Fame announced. It includes Mike Holmgren. Where are they going to do this whole song and dance again this year? Is this his year? Is this his year? I'm convinced now more than ever he's never going to get in. I hope he does, but he's up against Bill Belichick, Tom Coughlin, Dan Reeves, Marty Schottenheimer, George Seifert, and Mike Shanahan. Before you go, who'd you bet on in the Abu Dhabi Championship?
I have not looked at that yet. It doesn't start till tomorrow, does it?
Starts tonight at 11 p.m.
Okay.
On the Golf Channel.
God, I'm getting a little low on my balance in DraftKings, so I'm gonna have to, send some Venmo money that way. Thank you, Brian Turner, for that. It's gonna go straight to gambling on golf.
And Live Golf expanding to 72 holes. They announced yesterday for 2026.
They're going to make them work harder for all those millions, huh?
All those millions of dollars. It's a fraud of a tour. No one likes it. No one watches it. They've lost like $5 billion on the thing. Did you know that this year they also got rid of, remember it was supposed to be louder, bigger, funner, more fun, all this stuff. You know they didn't let them wear shorts this year? They took that away from them.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, because that was a big thing. Oh, you got to wear shorts over here. And then they took that away. So now
It's just weird that sometimes when FS1, I'm just like flipping around looking for stuff. FS1 will have highlights, and it just doesn't do it for me. I mean, the names are pretty good, but
yeah.
And then the whole team aspect, I've never followed that in golf. I don't like the team aspect of it.
All right, we will. That's it for you, Jim Moore. His weekly appearance.
That's
Monday,
it.
Wednesday,
That's it.
Friday.
We're done with you.
We're done with you. Brought to you by Brotherton Cadillac, Angry Beaver, and of course, A Clean Streak, and Bright Owl Lighting. Thank you. We'll see you on Friday. As always, we bid you adieu and go Cougs.
Go Cougs, Puck. Take care, bud.
There he is, Jim Moore, the go-to guy, with us again every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Brought to you by our fabulous sponsors. And I have to apologize to our next guest because I told him, hey, be ready at this time, and then we're late. And his time is valuable. My time is not. We talk more Seahawks now. We get the reaction of the big trade that the Seahawks pulled off yesterday. Where do they stand right now in the NFL and the NFC? We talk every single it's not Thursday, it's Wednesday. Every Wednesday with Rob Staton from SeahawksDraftBlog.com. It's inside the bloody trenches, and it's brought to you by Georgetown Brewery.
Drink Georgetown Tavern Beer, your new locally brewed domestic-style lager. 4.2% alcohol. Cheap, good, local.
Here he is, Rob Staton from SeahawksDraftBlog.com. He's covering the Seattle Seahawks. He's been doing it for years. Started off with the draft, has morphed into all Seahawks talk right now. Follow Rob on social media at Rob Staton. Check out his wonderful YouTube page, Rob Staton Football. And again, his weekly appearance brought to you by Georgetown Brewery, makers of Manny's Pale Ale, Bodie's Offer, Rogers Pilsner, and their new tavern beer. Tasting room, beer garden open daily, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Visit GeorgetownBeer.com. My apologies for making you stand by. Sorry. Sometimes I can't wrap it up with Jim. Jim and I, we start talking and it's just keeps going and going and going. That's my apologies. Well, your reaction from what the Seahawks did yesterday. What did you make of the Rashid Shaheed trade? And we're all going to struggle with his name because it just sounds too close together. And I want to keep saying Rashawn Sheehy, who was the ex-UW running back. I keep wanting to say that, but your thoughts on the trade?
Yeah, it's not an easy name to say. I've been saying Rashid Shaheed, and I just all kind of melds into one word. So it's like Rashid, like that's his name, Rashid.
That's what I'm going to say for now on.
So look, I'm happy with the trade. I think the thing about the trade deadline is this year more than ever, there have been teams lured into it because they just feel, for whatever reason, they've got like it's almost like when you're 10 years old and you get like a fresh, crisp dollar or pound notes to spend on your birthday, and you just cannot wait to get out there and spend it. And the Colts are like, oh, have everything for Sauce Gardner. And I'm not sure that Sauce Gardner is going to elevate the Colts to a Super Bowl contender. And yet that's the move they've made. And now they don't have a first-round pick for the next 2 years. So if Daniel Jones ends up being an average player over the next couple of years, they're not going to have a means to spend a first-round pick on a quarterback. So, you've got moves like that. I think really the trade deadline should be about finding value, finding players, being opportunistic about players. And that looks to me like what the Seahawks have done. They obviously know him very well because Clint Kubiak's worked with him. They see this as a player who can add something to their offense, who can make them a little bit better. Is this? I watched a power ranking on NFL.com's YouTube page today, and they had the Seahawks at number 1. I'm not really sure that I'd be putting the Seahawks at number 1. I don't think this is going to tilt them towards being the best team in the NFL, like maybe trading for Max Crosby would have done. But I'm totally in favor of them making a move like this and have no issue at all with the compensation.
Well, let's start there with the compensation. We've talked about the draft, and you've had your opinions about what the 2026 draft will look like. Some have, I think, like the move what Seattle did. I think any type of hesitation or pause from some people would be, God, did they give up too much? A 4th-round pick and a 5th-round pick for a guy that's not even under contract for next season. What would you say to those who are worried about the compensation given up and in remarks to the upcoming draft there in 2026?
I keep saying that people don't have to take my word on the draft. It's just one man's opinion, but I do spend a lot of time studying the college football and the draft, and already have, over 100 players on my board. Now, at this stage, it's very rare that a player will emerge in November that you're saying like, oh, where's this player been? Like, I need to put him in the first round, or I need to put him in the second round. The players that you know are going to form the bulk of a draft class have been identified by this point. And there's a real lack of quality in terms of top-end first-round picks, and there's a real lack of depth. And one of the things I said yesterday was, it may be, if the Seahawks have the kind of season that we expect them to be, and they pick later in each round, it's not, with this particular class, it's not beyond the realms of possibility that fourth-round pick and that fifth-round pick, in terms of grading, you could be selecting priority free agents even at that stage in the draft. That's the kind of draft it is. So, sure, in the past, the Seahawks have drafted the likes of KJ Wright and Richard Sherman and Cam Chancellor in that range. They've also drafted a load of crap in that range as well over the years. So it's as every team does. I am not concerned by that at all. One trade down can get you a fourth-round pick back on draft day. So you can make those picks back very easily.
They last year they did not have a fourth-round pick. They had 2 fifth-round picks last year. One was spent on Torrey Horton, which we like. The other was on Riley Mills.
Why did your screen just have balloons coming up then?
It's because it's on StreamYard, which we use here. When you do anything like that, like it's as a celebration or something, like balloons go up. I don't know why. It's very weird. I don't know how to turn it off. It's weird.
Really threw me while you were speaking.
Yeah, well, but I can't. Now we can't get more balloons. Oh, I'm trying to do something, drinking. I don't know. Maybe a glass will come up. What happened to Riley Mills? Did they just cut him?
No, he's still there.
Is he there?
Yeah, he's still there. He's on. He's on injured reserve, isn't he? And working his way back. So the hope is he'll be back before the end of the season.
All right. Well, again, I look at it like baseball. I've said this earlier with Jim. I love prospects and draft picks. I think they're the same. It's fine. They're great. But if you can get something, a proven major league ready, NFL ready player now for the future, whether it's a prospect or a draft pick, I'm always going to do that. Always. Because you got to tell me, can they find someone? And maybe they can. Find somebody in the 4th or 5th round that can give them what Shaheed can give them. And maybe they can. I mean, this guy's on pace right now to have nearly 1,000 yards receiving. In an offense with a quarterback situation is terrible, by the way. Awful. And if he'd spent all his season here in Seattle, he may be getting close to 1,000 yards for the season. So, and I think the element that he brings in the return game, this guy was an all-pro 2 years ago. I don't know. Speed, athleticism, you cannot teach that. You can never, I don't care what sport it is, especially this one, you cannot have enough speed. And I'm excited to see what he can do.
I understand why people will quibble about the picks, just because the easy example is, well, a 4th rounder, that's AJ Barner a couple of years ago. That a 5th rounder this year was Torrey Horton, and Torrey Horton's had a really good start to his career. And people will look at those two players. And as I mentioned before, the Shermans, the Chancellors, the KJ Wrights have gone in that range. I think this is, without wanting to overly promote Seahawks draft blog at this point, this is one of the ways why it's kind of handy to have a draft blog that looks at these things. Because I feel well placed to be able to say, in this particular class, it's not as worth worrying about as much. In previous drafts, like when they traded for Ernest Jones last year, we had a conversation about it. I wasn't that happy that they gave away a 4th round pick because the class was deeper and they'd previously traded for him, the Titans, for a ham sandwich. And I didn't understand why the Seahawks were giving up more than a ham sandwich for the same player for 10 games in terms of what was left on his contract. I wasn't a huge fan of the process of acquiring him. However, this year, I've no issue with it because he's clearly a quality player. He's in the peak of his time. Everybody who's watched him speaks very highly of him. This is the kind of player they don't have. They don't have that sort of pure elite speed who can run downfield. And I'm interested to see how he is going to fit into things here. And I think it's an exciting move. I'd have loved to have seen them make another move, Puck. And I'm convinced, I am 100% convinced that they were hammering the phones yesterday and the day before and over the weekend with something bigger in mind. There was just too much. You've got to read the tea leaves with this. There were so many people out there when Schefter was going, here's the 4 teams that Russell Wilson wouldn't mind being traded to. And it's like people going, that doesn't mean he's going to get traded. He doesn't want to trade. It's like, come on. How gullible do you have to be? Like, it's clear that Russell Wilson was going to get traded because of all of the noise around that. And it was clear that John Schneider maybe wasn't Geno Smith's biggest supporter. And in the end, they moved on from Geno Smith. It was obvious. It was spelled out with Jay Glazer, Adam Schefter, Albert Breer. They were all saying that keep an eye on the Seahawks, keep an eye on the Seahawks. And I am sure that there was something brewing behind the scenes and they just couldn't get it done. And my prediction is that when the offseason comes, because the draft is the way that it is, I think there's a really good chance that when we get to the offseason, they'll use that first round pick on a player, that they will trade their first round pick when the league year opens for perhaps the player they were trying to acquire over the last 48 hours.
Yeah, it could be true. Yeah. Listen, I think Woolen was a part of something. I think Woolen and early picks were a part of something. And I think Max Crosby was the target.
I agree.
And I just think that they, for whatever reason, the Raiders are like, it's not because I think they look at it and they know where they're at as an organization moving forward, that they're not in I don't know when they think they're going to win, but I just think it's everything that Crosby means to that organization. And I think if they were, it's the message they would have sent to their fans. And I just think they couldn't stomach the message sending it, even though they know that it was right to move him and they should have moved him. But I think that they thought of their fans and what the reaction would have been. That it would have just been, well, what the hell are we doing? Like, why should we come here anymore? So
I completely agree. I think
maybe they revisit it.
I think that was the target. I think he was the player, and I think what the Raiders were mindful of was exactly what you said. There was throwing up the white flag and saying, this is the only, like, this is your guy. This is Mr. Las Vegas Raiders, and we've just traded him away. Now suffer through the second half of the season, and with an unpopular quarterback, an unpopular coach, because they are, that's just, I'm afraid if there's any Seahawks fans that don't like hearing that, they are unpopular. With an
are fans upset with him? The fans don't like Carroll?
Geno Smith was booed onto the field.
I heard that
against the Jaguars. And Carroll is just, you just need to type Pete Carroll's name into Twitter. And look, I have done that. During a game day for the Raiders, and they're not happy. So they couldn't do it. But it's easier to PR your way through this if he's traded in March. Look, this is a longer term thing. We need picks. We need to get younger. We need to build. We've turned him into 3 players instead of 1. His timeline doesn't align necessarily where the Raiders are going to be from where they're competing. It'll be easier to spin it in March than it would be at the start of November. So he and Crosby is everything that this Mike Donald culture seems to be about. That hard edge intensity. That you look at the players they've acquired. People like DeMarcus Lawrence cut from the same cloth. And that's the kind of player that they want. And increasingly, it's the kind of player that's very hard to find in college football. Especially in the NIL era. So that's my prediction. I think I wasn't going to mention the name, but you've chucked his name out there. I think that is going to be their target. I won't be surprised if they are calling the Raiders in March and saying, that offer, let's do a little dance here and see if we can get something done.
I was thinking about this, in the final half here of the season, right? As we're kind of at the midway point. I know it's an unbalanced schedule and all that, but you look at one aspect, and I know people were going after Greg Olsen on Twitter and all that, and I don't really get into that whole back and forth. But the one thing that is clear, they do have a commitment to running the football. And again, they don't need to be 50-50. There doesn't need to be this perfect split balance. The game has trended, away from that. It is obvious. I don't care what year it is, what level of football you play, and you have to be able to run the football, especially when you get into the playoffs. And we've seen examples this year when they've had opportunities to salt a game away and they can't because they can't effectively run the football. Ken Walker is averaging 4.5 yards a carry. So that's good. That's a good number. I think part of the reason I was talking to, it was either Garofolo or maybe it was Mike Dugar earlier this week, and I think we talked the same issue. I think actually it was Dugar. I think part of it is, and I think Mike brought up a good point of like, I think they're limiting the touches because if you look at Walker and Charbonnet, how close they are in carries, they're doing it to preserve Walker for the season because the guy just hasn't been able to stay healthy. And that I think there's some good reasoning behind that. I guess my question to you is once we get now here in the second half, I wonder if they start ramping it up a little bit more with him and we start to see Rob, a bigger discrepancy in the carries between Walker and Charbonnet.
I don't think we will. And the reason I don't think we will is because they've spent 2 second-round picks on these guys. And I think that's playing... listen, there's definitely not a time in a game where, let's say, Clint Kubiak goes, right, whatever play call he calls, Ken Walker's out there, and Mike McDonald goes, actually, can you put Zach Charbonnet out there because second-round pick? I'm not saying for a second they do that. I think the team has invested in these two players in a massive way. And if Zach Charbonnet is getting 3 carries a game, that makes that investment a waste. And the other thing I would say is they taught Charbonnet up all the way through training camp. There was actually a bit of pressure being applied to Ken Walker and a lot of praise and positivity and pumping up of Zach Charbonnet. And I think they whether this is the correct thing or not, I think they really do value Zach Charbonnet. What I will say is, I think what Greg Olsen said was spot on. I think you do have to read his tweets twice to really understand what he said, because I didn't get it. I was like, what? And then I was like, oh, yeah, that's what he means. And I think it's quite hard. It felt like he was having a dig at Seattle, but he wasn't having a dig at Seattle.
Right.
He's basically saying, like, they're not a very good run team, and yet everybody's like playing them like they're running with, Marshawn Lynch and Derrick Henry in the backfield. Like, that's essentially it. And teams should stop doing that. But this is one of the reasons why I quite like the Rashid Shaheed trade, because if that forces teams to think, oh, yeah, we should probably cover and look how well Sam Darnold's playing and look at Jackson Smith and Jigba, we're going to move into coverage a bit more. That could be the thing that unlocks the running game. So I think if that happens, and if teams do stop stacking the box as much as they are, because Seattle have not done a good job against stacked boxes, that could make opportunities not just for Ken Walker, but also for Zach Charbonnet as well.
Yeah, I think Charbonnet is a good player too. I think he's a good backup running back. He's not Ken Walker. And I mean, Ken Walker is just a different beast and a different animal. I think it's still a running game that's finding their way. I think it can find their way. And I think when it does, maybe we brought this up last week, I think when it does find itself, if it does, well, you're talking about an offense now at this point, if that gets going, that's really has a chance to be really unstoppable, because I don't know how you would defend it. And I look forward to these other matchups coming up. Next 2 weeks, you got divisional opponents. This Arizona game is probably going to be more difficult than people realize. I mean, they basically are going to start Jacoby Brissett until he can show that he can't be the quarterback anymore, because that offense is night and day difference with Jacoby Brissett versus Kyler Murray. He averages, it's like a touchdown more. It's like 70 yards more of total offense with Jacoby Brissett back there in the last 3 games versus Kyler Murray. So, I think people may look at the Arizona game and get ahead of themselves because the Rams are on the horizon, but this would be a good matchup, I think, for Seattle division opponent. Hell, Brissett gave these guys problems a year ago, when he was with New England.
Yes, I think that is worth noting. I think also, if there's anybody getting carried away, I would suggest looking at the last weekend. Like, I think Detroit Lions fans would have fully expected to beat the Minnesota Vikings. I think the Green Bay Packers fans would have fully expected to beat the Carolina Panthers. The Lions and Packers are both at home, and they lost. And I saw a decent chunk of that Packers Panthers game because I've got Rico Dowdle in my one of my fantasy teams, and to me, it wasn't that close. The Panthers really, really deserved to win that game, probably more comprehensively than they ended up doing it. So it's a crazy season, and you can't take anything for granted. And last year, I've got the stats up here. From memory of that game, the Seahawks only beat the Patriots. Remember, this was a Patriots team that were bloody awful last season.
Yeah.
They only beat them in overtime by a field goal. Now, Brissett started well and then faded. He was like 15 of 27 for 149 yards and a touchdown. So not glorious numbers, but here's the other thing: didn't have Marvin Harrison, didn't have Trey McBride, and the Arizona Cardinals are a better team than the Patriots were. Now, the other thing about the Cardinals is that every game they play is close. Whether they're playing the Packers, obviously the Cowboys. They've had a whole bunch of games where they've nearly beaten really good teams, but then they've also lost to the Titans, who that's the only team the Titans have beaten all season. So they are a bit unpredictable, but they play close games. My prediction for this is the Seahawks will win, but it may be tight. It may be frustrating at times. You might need a bit of luck, but I think they'll get the job done.
What Rob is saying to all you people out there that like to put a paycheck on a game, take Arizona plus the 6.5.
6.5?
Yeah, it's a big number. It's a big number.
Yeah.
I was very surprised by this line.
Well, I took Vikings 8.5 against the Lions and Panthers 13.5 against the Packers this week. And I think you guys call it a parlay.
Yeah.
We call it an accumulator.
Accumulator.
And I won. But we do think we'll cash out here. I don't know if you have that in America. So I needed the Raiders to beat the Jaguars, and when the Raiders went ahead in the fourth quarter, I just cashed out at that point.
Oh yeah, they do that. It's a buyout. Yeah.
So I didn't I didn't wait to see if the Fighting Carols could get the job done in overtime. I cashed out before the end, so I managed to secure the win.
Normally, Rob, the Queen's English is better than ours, but I think for this, our parlay is better than accumulator.
Yeah, well, we call it. We've shortened it to ACCA. So it's if you hear anybody say my ACCA or this, I've got them in my ACCA, they're talking about an accumulator. But I think parlay very French. So it's the word that the Pirates said if they wanted to sort of get some kind of truce going, isn't it?
It sounds better, and I think we've got one on you finally.
Yeah, I agree with that. You can have that one. Yeah.
49ers, 49ers and Rams. Rams on the road. Actually, the Rams are favored by 4.5 in San Francisco. So, depending what happens here, if the 49ers can knock off the Rams this week and Seattle takes care of business at home, you're sitting there in first place. Well, it'd be a neat deal.
It would. I'm down for that. I'm down for. I'm down for the Seahawks having a. It feels like a long time since. Given a toss about a playoff game, and like spent the whole week thinking, come on, and they've got a chance and they can win this and they can go on a run and to dream of the Super Bowl. And I do think people are getting carried away this week, not in the Seahawks world, but in the national world, like putting them at number one in a power ranking for me.
I think but I think what for people who weren't paying attention, and I think it caught a lot of people by surprise. I think there was a lot of us that thought they would beat Washington, not in that way, not in that fashion. And I think when you do it on a national stage, and there's been rumblings, it's been under the surface. A lot of people have been talking about Seattle for the last few weeks. Also kind of a sneaky good team. And then they have that performance in front of everyone, last game of the weekend. And then I think people are like, oh my God. And then the uniforms.
Well, the uniforms played a bit. Did you hear about people have said? I saw tweets like Steelers lost in their terrible throwbacks. Packers lost in their terrible throwbacks. Somebody else lost in their terrible throwback. Seahawks won in their glorious league best uniforms. And then I think it was Bill Ballmer who said, this is not a coincidence.
And I'm going to tell you, the people that are not familiar with the uniforms, this may be blasphemous. It's not even their best one. Because the true white road ones that they wear a white road with the gray pants or the silver pants. Those are actually
better. I don't know why we're fighting this back. I think the reason this is my theory on why they're not going back to them.
So dumb.
This is the theory I've got. I think it's the logo. I think it's it's how do you get the modern logo? Does they have to change the color of that again? And I don't think they want to do it. I think they want to kind of keep the logo as it is because I imagine that costs a lot of money just to change that. I think that's why they're doing it. And it frustrates me because when you see them playing, it just brings a smile to your face. You just said this, and everybody thinks they're like the best uniforms in the league.
They are, because
So
they are the best
clean.
uniforms. It's not even a debate. They're unbelievable. I get just go to them. The players want them. Everybody wants them. America wants it.
So does UK.
Brits want, the UK wants it. Okay, the EU, everybody wants it. Asia wants it.
Australia.
All right, Rob. Australia. SeahawksDraftBlog.com is the website. Go there. Rob puts all of his videos up there, writes a ton of content up there as well. Does a great job every weekend of watching college games and breaking down the draft. Again, not a huge fan of this upcoming draft. He's got new pieces up there explaining that, pieces breaking down the trade there for Shaheed. Check it all out at SeahawksDraftBlog.com, and check out the YouTube page as well. Rob Staton Football. Guy gets a gazillion views. It's unbelievable. So check that out. He's with us here every single Wednesday, brought to you by Georgetown Brewery. Thank you for the time. Appreciate it as always. Always love our chat. We'll talk to you next week.
See you next week.
There he is, Rob Staton, SeahawksDraftBlog.com. Again, Georgetown Brewery. Big thanks to those guys for sponsoring the Inside the Bloody Trenches with Rob Staton every single week. That will, of course, be up on YouTube and all the podcast platforms later. Apple, Spotify, wherever you find your podcast. There at just search Puck Sports and the Daily Puck Drop. All right, we wrap up the show with, of course, Hey, What the Puck, which is brought to you by Restoration One of North Seattle. It's your restoration company that lets you avoid the stress of water, fire, and mold damage with their property restoration services. Locally owned and operated. Make them your first call when damages affect your residential or commercial property. 206-817-8917. Visit them at restoration1.com, the North Seattle franchise. Some housekeeping notes on the Mariners. Jorge Polanco officially is a free agent. He has declined his option, which was $6 million for this upcoming season. So he is a free agent, investing a player option. So now he is free to sign with anyone tomorrow, just like all the free agents are in baseball. I've seen people write on certain different places that priority number one, it should shift away from Naylor. I've heard Alex Bregman's name been brought up at third base. No. Not because of anything that happened with Houston. And if they sign Alex Bregman, great. I'll take Alex Bregman. Focus. Tunnel vision, focus. Even though I brought up Edwin Diaz earlier in the show, which, again, money should never be an option for this organization, by the way. Never. Ever, ever, ever should be an option. They can spend as much money as anyone else in this league. They choose not to. So just keep that in mind. They choose not to. But priority number one is Josh Naylor. He's 1A, he's 1B, he's 1C, he's 1D. Now, again, you have to have other free agents in mind because you don't want to get caught with your pants down. Josh Naylor, don't have anyone else tell you that Josh Naylor is not the number one priority. He is by far and away the number one priority. They at least have options at third base. Ben Williamson, Colt Emerson was taking some time over there at third base. They have nothing at first base at all. The problem with that is that Josh Naylor, and more importantly, Josh Naylor's agent knows that. So they're going to have to overpay. But Josh Naylor is the number one priority for this organization. Scary thing is now starting tomorrow, he's free to sign with anyone. We will see what it will take to get Josh Naylor, but focus. Dipoto, Hollander, focus. Naylor. All right, that's Hey, What the Puck, brought to you by Restoration One of North Seattle, your restoration company that lets you avoid stress of water, fire, mold damage with their property restoration services. Give them a call, 206-817-8917. Visit them online, restoration1.com, the North Seattle franchise. Thank you, everyone, watching and listening today. Thank you to all our sponsors, Limback Lumber, Georgetown Brewery, Restoration One. Big thanks to gym sponsors who sponsor every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, of course, a Clean Streak / Bright Owl Lighting, Christmas lights. Get them installed. Bright Owl Lighting. They're going to take care of you. Brian and his crew, they're the best. Also, Brotherton Cadillac. Need a new Cadillac? Check out Brotherton Cadillac and Brad. They're going to take care of you. And a great place to watch all sports. Doesn't matter if it's the Kraken, Cougs, Seahawks, Mariners, what have you. Angry Beaver Sports Bar in Greenwood. Big thanks to Matt Baker and the Angry Beaver. Check out the Daily Puck Drop on YouTube. When you're there, please subscribe to the channel, like it, leave a comment. Try to get as many, try to respond to many people as we can there on the YouTube comments. Also, find the Daily Puck Drop on your favorite podcast platforms in case you miss anything from the live show. Apple, Spotify are the two main ones, but they're available everywhere. And, of course, you can find everything at pucksports.com, including where you can sign up to become a Pucks Posse member. $5 a month. That's all it costs you. You support all the free shows that we do here daily, plus all the bonus shows that we have as well throughout the week. Visit pucksports.com. All right, everybody, enjoy your Wednesday. Coming up on Thursday's show, we'll talk to Mikey G. Mike Garafolo is back with us. We'll get his thoughts on what the Seahawks did yesterday at the trade deadline and other moves in the NFL, and another live edition of KJ Arntz with Mitch Levy from the Mitch Unfiltered podcast. We do it live, and then once the show is over, it's only available for Pucks Posse members or patrons of Mitch Unfiltered. We will talk to you tomorrow. As always, we promise to be better.
No shoes, no ties.
Anybody like to smoke some pot?
Yeah. I was born to lick your face. I was born to rub you, but you were born to rub me first.
What do you need my address for? We like to send out a mailer.
Mother of mercy, I don't speak Japanese.